whenever you are ready, sir.
Okay. Good morning, guys. My name is Joseph Tibbitts. I have some exciting news for you today. Some may even consider it secrets, and I'm here to share this with you. How many of you own a home? How many of you have the perfect lawn? Or know a guy in your neighborhood that has the perfect lawn? Okay, you've seen those guys? Well, I'm here today to share a few secrets about the perfect lawn. 6 that will actually make you be that guy on your block. I am one of those guys. I love spending time in the yard. I haven't always been that kind of guy. There was a day where I would drive by those guys' house and pledge that I would someday be that guy. You know the guy. He has a lawn that's just looks like shag carpet. Deep green, almost verges on the color of blue. No weeds anywhere. And everybody compliments him on his yard.
He's ruining my marriage.
He's ruining a lot of marriages. He was ruining mine. And that's why I decided I wanted to be one of those guys. It takes work. And it takes some simple steps that I want to share with you today, that if you consistently do it year after year, you'll be one of those guys. Except for mowing on a regular basis and a little bit of weed killer every now and then, some perfectly timed fertilizing, it's pretty simple. For those guys, they basically put their lawns on autopilot. You wouldn't think so, but except for weekly mowings and some simple things, you too can have the perfect lawn. So 6 easy steps to that perfect lawn. The first is admit you have a problem. Do you see weeds in your lawn? Do you see bare spots? Maybe some crabgrass? The edges of the grass don't always go out to the driveway or the sidewalk? Good. That's the first step, is admitting that you have a problem. The second and key part of that is being willing to do something about it. And being willing to understand the steps and take these simple steps to help you be that guy on the block. The next step, and probably the most vital step, is to prevent the weeds from coming long before they ever have a chance to take root. This is done by controlling it with an emergent or a fertilizer. Especially early in the spring when your grass is starting to grow, but also the weeds that have gotten into your lawn over the winter time want to take root as well. Depending on your type of grass, consulting your local Home Depot or Lowe's or hardware store who knows anything about fertilizer will help you pick the right one for your grass. The second, any questions about an emergent and how vital that is to spring?
So how early in spring?
Well, where I come from, as soon as the snow is off of my lawn, I begin to treat my lawn. Most of the time it's March, April, depends on where you live. I know in the South you have several different types of grass you can grow. But the key is getting rid of those weeds early in the spring before they ever have a chance to take root. Okay? Second step is keep it sharp. Anybody have an idea of what I'm referring to? Yeah, your lawnmower blade. Whether you're walking behind the lawnmower or whether you have a big yard and you're actually driving a tractor, keeping it sharp, that blade, sharpening the blade at least once a year early in the spring is key. Anybody have an idea why keeping a sharp blade contributes to a healthy lawn?
It doesn't shred the ends.
Yeah, it doesn't rip the grass, it actually cuts the grass. Ripping the grass actually leaves like split ends. and it's easy for the sun to actually burn that, and you don't get that green color. Now, if you sharpen in the spring, and then during the summer you hit a few rocks, maybe scour the lawn or hit the curb, or maybe even run over a pile of Legos in your lawn, it might be a good idea to go back and sharpen that blade again. Any questions about sharpening the blade?
Where do you go to have it done?
Well, I do it myself, but there are several places, probably in your hometown, that will sharpen blades. You can do a Google search, but I have a grinder at home. I take it off and do it every year. It's easier that way. Today's newer mowers have 2 blades, and get them both. Any questions? Any other questions?
You have to balance the blade after you sharpen it?
No, I've never had to balance a blade. Just make sure you get the mounting hardware back on the same way. And if you're unsure how to do it, take your mower to a local power equipment shop and they'll do it for you for a small fee. The next is keep the height right. What's that refer to?
Deck height.
Yeah, your deck height. So many of us think that if we cut the lawn short, it's going to save us time in the long run. That's not true. Keeping your grass high is not only healthy for the grass, but it helps choke out any weeds that might have tried to take root. On a typical lawnmower, you can adjust that height all the way up to the top or to the second notch from the top, and that's about where you need to be during the summer. Now, how often you mow is also critical. In the springtime, I sometimes won't mow for 7 or 10 days. During the summer, I mow at least once a week. The idea is to cut off about 1/3 of the blade of the grass. If you cut off any more than that, then you cut off the energy producing part of the blade that actually contributes to a healthy lawn. Any questions about the right height? It's tempting to keep it down, but keeping it all the way up to the top is vital in being that guy.
Tell us down here with Bermuda, skin it. The first time you cut it in the spring, skin it to the ground because you leave it high all winter. And then every time you cut it, raise the blade until you get in the highest notch, and then leave the rest of the summer as high as you get it.
Yeah, there's different grasses all over this country. Your local nursery can give you some tips, but these are just as a general rule. The next is water in the morning. Why would we water in the morning instead of the evening?
As the day gets hotter, the grass is going to soak up the water.
Yeah, at night you're actually susceptible to all kinds of diseases, mold and fungus, if you water at night, if it stays wet too long. Another key point is how much water. Now for me, I water about twice a week. And the ideal watering amount is about 1 inch of water on your lawn every week. How do you know how much 1 inch of water is? There's a couple of different ways. Sprinklers now, you can actually buy sprinklers that are rated by how much water they produce in a certain amount of time. If you don't want to replace all your sprinkler heads to find that out, take an empty food container or soup can and just put it out on your lawn. And I would recommend that you do this in all of the stages. And as soon as that can gets 1/2 inch of water, then that's the amount of time that you need to set your sprinklers for. Another key component when it comes to watering is making sure that your sprinklers are giving you the coverage that you want on the grass. Now, contrary to popular belief, when you water concrete, it does not grow. So make sure you adjust your sprinklers so that it's hitting the grass or maybe just a couple of inches onto the concrete, because if you get any kind of wind or, is that it?
That's 10 minutes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you very much.